What if I told you that the boundaries you see around you, between you and me, between earth and sky, between the seeker and the sacred, are illusions? What if the separation we feel is only a veil, and behind it all, there is only one? For Jalal al-Din Rumi, the 13th century Persian mystic and poet, this wasn't just a philosophical idea. It was the essence of reality. In Rumi's world, there is no true division. Everything is connected in an invisible web of divine presence. Every leaf, every drop of rain, every human heart beats with the echo of the same divine song. This vision is rooted in the Sufi concept of Tawhid, the unity of all existence with the One, the Infinite, the Beloved. But Rumi does not speak of unity through theology or doctrine. He reveals it through poetry, metaphor, longing, and surrender. His verses are not just lines on a page. They are portals into the oneness that binds all creation. So how does Rumi express the profound and often ineffable mystery of divine unity? And what can we learn about Tawhid, not just as a belief, but as a lived, felt reality, from his poetry and teachings? Let's enter the mystical ocean of Rumi's heart and explore the timeless message of unity that pulses through every stanza of his verse. If this is your first time here, welcome to the Unfolding Journey, a space where we dive into the wisdom of mystics, sages, and poets from across the ages. Through sacred texts, spiritual poetry, and meaningful reflection, we explore the eternal truths that help illuminate our path. Whether you're seeking insight, inspiration, or simply resonance, you're in the right place. Let's walk this path together, understanding Tawhid in Sufi thought. To understand Rumi's perspective, we must first grasp the Sufi meaning of Tawhid. While in classical Islamic theology, Tawhid refers to the oneness of God, his uniqueness and indivisibility. Sufis expand this concept into a lived experience known as Wadat al-Wujud, or the unity of being. In this vision, all of existence is not separate from God, but rather a reflection, a manifestation, or an expression of the divine. The multiplicity we see in the world is like ripples on the surface of the ocean, distinct in appearance, but all made of water. For Rumi, Tawhid is not just a belief, it is a realization. It is the deep inner awakening that everything we seek, fear, or love is already within us, already one with us. God is not outside looking down. God is the very breath we take, the tears we cry, the light behind the eyes of a stranger. The mirror of the heart. One of Rumi's most beautiful metaphors for divine unity is the mirror. He writes, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." This stunning image expresses the Sufi idea that the human being is not separate from God, but contains the reflection of the whole within themselves. The heart is the mirror, and when it is polished through love, remembrance, and surrender, it reflects the face of the beloved. But Rumi also reminds us that the mirror is often dusty. The ego, desires, and distractions of the world obscure the reflection. The task of the seeker, then, is not to acquire the divine, but to remove the veils, to clear the mirror. The veil of duality. One of the recurring messages in Rumi's poetry is that duality, this idea of I and thou, of separation, is an illusion. It is the veil that prevents us from recognizing Tawhid. In his Masnavi, he says, "I am the servant of the Quran as long as I have life. I am the dust on the path of Muhammad, the chosen one. But whoever interprets my words as meaning duality, I am free of them, and they are free of me." Here, Rumi affirms his deep connection to the Islamic tradition while emphasizing that the real message is unity. The forms and names are important, but they all point to the one reality behind them. In another poem, he writes, "The moment I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing. How blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along." This isn't just a story of romantic love. It's a teaching about divine oneness. The lover and the beloved are not separate. The journey toward God is actually a journey within. The beloved in all things. Rumi often refers to the beloved, a symbol of the divine, and he sees this beloved everywhere, in nature, in beauty, in suffering, even in longing itself. He writes, "I searched for God and found only myself. I searched for myself and found only God." This reversal is a hallmark of Tawhid. The illusion of I dissolves into the ocean of being. The seeker realizes that they were never apart from the sought. For Rumi, everything in the universe is a sign of the divine, a verse of a cosmic scripture. The rustling of the wind, the cry of the reed flute, the spinning of the stars, all of it whispers, there is only one. The dance of unity, whirling as a symbol. One of the most powerful physical expressions of Tawhid in Rumi's tradition is the whirling dance of the dervishes, the sema. In this sacred ritual, the dervish spins in circles, right hand turned to the sky, left hand turned to the earth. This dance is not a performance, it's a meditation, a prayer in motion. It represents the soul's turning toward God and the channeling of divine grace into the world. The dancer becomes the axis between heaven and earth. Through the spinning, the ego dissolves, and only the movement of the divine remains. This dance is an embodied symbol of Tawhid. There is no dancer, there is only the dance, the burning away of separation. Rumi often speaks of love as fire, a fire that burns away the illusion of separateness. The more we love, the more we suffer, the more we burn. And in that burning, the false self is consumed. Be like a melting candle. Give light and burn in the process. This fire is not destructive, it is purifying. It removes the layers of false identity until only the essence remains. And that essence is nothing but God. In Sufi philosophy, this stage is called fana, the annihilation of the self in God. It's not suicide or nihilism. It is the death of the ego, the limited self, so the real can shine through. Silence and the language of unity. Perhaps one of the most telling symbols of Tawhid in Rumi's work is silence. He says, "Silence is the language of God. All else is poor translation." Why silence? Because the experience of oneness is beyond words, beyond thought, beyond the intellect. Language is dualistic. It requires a subject and object. But in the experience of Tawhid, there is no subject, no object, only the presence of the One. Rumi's poetry, though full of words, ultimately points us toward wordlessness, toward stillness, toward the place where only presence remains. Love as the path to Tawhid. For Rumi, the most direct path to realizing divine unity is love. Not just emotional affection, but a consuming, selfless, transforming love that breaks all barriers. Through love, all that is bitter will become sweet. Through love, all that is copper will become gold. Through love, all pain will turn to medicine. Love is not just a feeling. It is the alchemy that reveals the hidden oneness in all things. Through love, the lover becomes the beloved. The veils fall, the self dissolves, and Tawhid is no longer a concept, it is lived reality. Final reflections, the ocean without shores. In the end, Rumi's teachings on Tawhid do not ask us to abandon the world, but to see it rightly, to see the one in the many, to recognize the sacred in every moment, every breath, every being. He writes, "Don't you know yet? It is your light that lights the worlds." To live Tawhid is to live in presence, to love without conditions, to serve without self-interest, and to see no other, only reflections of the one light. Rumi doesn't want us to worship an abstract God in the sky. He wants us to realize that we are never apart from the divine. The journey is not upward or outward. It is inward, into the vastness that is already within us. If this journey into the heart of divine unity spoke to your soul, I invite you to join us here on Unfolding Journey as we continue exploring the mystical teachings of the world's great sages. Backhand index pointing right, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with anyone who longs for something deeper than dogma, something eternal, something real. And always remember, in the words of Rumi, you are not outside the universe looking in. You are the universe looking at itself in ecstasy. Until next time, may your heart be light, your path be clear, and may you always walk in the awareness of the One.